All right, we are at Hickory Run State Park and we have a 4-part series for you. Join us here on FYI. We're going to talk about poison ivy and safety outside when we go outdoors this summer. So John is here with us, and thanks for having us.
Thanks. Glad to be here today to talk about poison ivy.
Okay, you don't hear that a lot. So when we talk about poison ivy, there are people outside. They're going to be doing yard work and mowing the lawn and spending some time, hopefully, at our beautiful state parks across Pennsylvania. So let's hear about how to detect poison ivy and so on and so forth.
Yeah, approximately 85% of people will develop a rash if they contact poison ivy. So you really don't want to touch any part of the plant because even the roots have the sap, and as well as the stems and leaves. So the best way is avoid it entirely and be able to identify it. I have a couple of pictures here
Okay.
of the poison ivy. The saying that you'll remember is leaves of three, let them be, and I think most people are aware of that. Poison ivy is actually a compound leaf, and the two lower leaves attach almost right to the stem, and then the upper leaf has a longer stalk to it. There's a lot of different ways to keep in mind about the poison ivy, and one thing is there's a lot of variation. So you might have smooth leaves on the outside edge, or they might be jaggedy like these ones here that I'm showing. They can be dull or shiny. So you have to be aware of all the variations to the plant itself.
Where do you specifically find poison ivy?
Poison ivy likes an amount of sun. It'll persist in the understory of the forest, but it really likes to have sunny or disturbed areas in which to grow. That's where you'll find most of it. So along like the sides of streams, along the sides of lakes, and places like that.
If you do come in contact with poison ivy, how do you take care of it?
If you know you've been in contact with poison ivy, the best thing is to try to wash it off, because it is an oil that will get on your skin, and you want to try to wash that off right away and get with lots of soap. And then some people have even tried using rubbing alcohol to break down that oil, and then that'll help prevent you from getting it.
And quickly, you have the process of how poison ivy actually comes about. So you want to show us that photo as well?
Yeah, so we have, there are different life stages to the poison ivy. You'll see the leaves come out in the early spring, along with some flowers, April through May. The berries won't develop till the fall, and they're a whitish gray berry. And the vines are another way to help identify poison ivy, because they're really hairy. So if you see a hairy vine, leave that alone. You don't want to touch that. So be aware of it, all the different forms when you're out there.
All right, so leaves of three, let them be.
Let them be.
All right, let them be. We're talking about poison ivy. Thanks, John, for filling us in, keeping you safe throughout the summertime here at the Hickory Run State Park. We'll see you next week.